Weapons have evolved from a stick to a force that can destroy the entire world. But the most terrible thing isn't what's already been created. It's what it all led to. In the end, you will understand why the most dangerous weapon may not even look like a weapon. Once upon a time, a simple stick was all a person needed to survive. No technology, no complex ideas, only strength, fear, and the desire to stay alive. Back then, everything was simple. If the enemy is close, you fight. If he's stronger, you run. It was a straightforward, understandable world. Man against man. Then came the bow and arrow, and everything changed. Now you could attack from a distance. You saw the target, drew the bowstring, and released. The arrow flew forward, fast, accurate. For the first time, there was distance between you and the enemy. You no longer looked him in the eye at the moment of impact. Everything became colder, further, but still personal. Then came swords, metal. Weapons became stronger, more dangerous, more deadly. The battles became closer, more brutal. You hear the clang of blades. You see the fear in your enemy's eyes. You feel every movement. There's no longer any distance, just you and them. One will survive, the other won't. But the real turning point came later. Gunpowder appeared, a small invention that changed everything. No longer did you need the strength of your arms, no need to get close. A spark was enough, and an explosion occurred. The first cannons appeared, a loud sound, smoke, destruction. War was no longer quiet. It became noisy, chaotic, destructive. From gunpowder came firearms, rifles, pistols. Everything became faster. Now to kill, a second is enough. Pull the trigger and that's it. You don't even have time to think. You don't need to be stronger. You don't need to be faster. You just need to be first. From that moment on, war ceased to be fair. It became effective. And the more time went on, the more people took part in the battles. Wars ceased to be small clashes. They weren't just dozens of people anymore. They were thousands, armies, lines of soldiers, non-stop gunfire, people shooting at each other, not knowing names, not seeing faces. Everything turned into a stream, a system, a mechanism of destruction. And then the tanks appeared. Enormous, heavy metal machines. They weren't afraid of bullets. They didn't feel pain. They simply drove forward. They crushed everything in their path. They destroyed walls, broke through defenses, destroyed everything they encountered. The man inside was no longer just a soldier. He was part of a machine, and this machine made him stronger, but also more dangerous. But even that wasn't enough. People took to the skies, planes, first reconnaissance, then bombs. Now death comes from above. You stand on the ground and don't even know you've already been targeted. No warning, just a whistle, and an explosion. The destruction became faster, more widespread, more chaotic. And finally, a weapon appears that changes everything completely. Nuclear weapons. This is no longer just a step forward, it's a leap, enormous, dangerous. One explosion and a city disappears. A light brighter than the sun, a wave that sweeps everything away. Temperatures that melt metal. People disappear in seconds. Those who survive continue to suffer. At this moment, humanity realizes for the first time, we've gone too far. This is no longer just a war. This is the possibility of destroying everything. Not an army, not a country, but the entire world. But here's the main thing. We thought the most dangerous weapon was bombs. But the most dangerous weapon is the person who decides to use them.